Coming up, a school shooting in a South Florida high school with multiple reported fatalities. The suspect is in custody and police are searching the school.
And Citrus TV News reporter Rebekah Castor is in South Korea with a closer look at the Korean Unified Ice Hockey Team.
And happy Valentine's Day. What really goes on within local businesses during this commercial holiday? Citrus TV reporter Zach Lang will have an in-depth look. All that and more ahead.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening. There are reports of numerous fatalities at a high school in Parkland, Florida, after a gunman opened fire this afternoon. Authorities are reporting that there are 14 victims and at least 2 people are dead. I'm Federico.
And I'm Josh Rosenblatt. Authorities say the suspect is currently in custody at a hospital getting a mental health evaluation. Associated Press is reporting that the suspect is 18-year-old Nicholas Cruz.
He's reported to be a white male who is not a current student but once was. Broward police and SWAT teams say they are searching the building as we speak.
The superintendent says there are over 3,000 students at the school. Students say the fire alarm was pulled and they heard gunshots as they entered the hallway.
Students were texting and tweeting that they were in hiding while the school was on lockdown. The area was considered safe half an hour after the suspect was found in a nearby neighborhood. Students and parents are meeting together at a nearby hotel.
There are numerous fatalities. It's a horrific situation. It's just a horrible day for us.
Citrus TV will keep you updated on the situation as more details come in. The Syracuse Housing Lottery is a process that has been completely overhauled for this year. The old number system has been replaced by orange and blue tracks that will separate students from before room assignments start. Citrus TV's Brendan Tierney reports that the new housing process is designed to reduce student stress.
Will they get a bad time? Possibly, but it's not this number, and I know right from the get-go I'm behind the 8 ball.
The new system implemented this semester will not be perfect, but Housing Director Eileen Simmons says it was done to remove the stress of getting a bad lottery number and not having other students want to live with you because of it.
They would really look more at who to select a room with based on someone's number rather than who they really wanted to live with. So lower numbers meant better rooms, and then they'd kind of manipulate the process after the fact.
Students should pick who they want to live with, and they will then be assigned a selection time in the different rounds. In order to do that, students must pay their deposit and apply through MySlice before the March 20th deadline.
They get that payment in, they're eligible to do the application. You can't do the application before payment. So they should be doing that right now. And we monitor it. I mean, I sit there and click a button probably 4 or 5 times a day to see the numbers grow.
Simmons says rooms like these in Watson Hall 4-person suites are most likely to fill up first, so students should have plans for the different rounds of the process before it begins. Brendan Tierney, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Brendan. A Syracuse alum and her family will be visiting campus Thursday and Friday to lecture on African American children's literature. The new literature series is run by the School of Education and features the Pinckney family, who are the inaugural presenters in the Joe Linda and Dennis Keith Distinguished Speakers series. The Pinckneys will talk about social justice and representation.
The Roman Catholic Diocese of Syracuse is offering a program to potentially compensate victims of clergy sexual abuse. Bishop Robert Cunningham announced that the program will be led by 2 administrators with experience in compensation programs. The diocese says that the program's goal is to help clergy abuse victims. And a report released today deemed the Onondaga Justice Center one of the most problematic jails in New York. The report came from the Commission of Correction, which oversees 74 local correctional facilities. Only 4 other jails are on the report, and the 2 main problems the Onondaga County Jail faces are overcrowding and gaps in staffing.
Mental health is becoming more and more of a priority in today's world. Citrus TV reporter Greg Bradbury is in studio to tell us how SU is helping the fight.
Well, in the College of Engineering and Computer Science, Professor Chulukuri Mohan and 2 graduate students have been working on an app for the past year that monitors social media to help prevent suicides.
The Suicide Prevention app is made for people who are diagnosed with depression and getting help from a doctor. The app is made to monitor the user's Facebook page and detect signals that display possible harm. If something is detected, it sends an alert to their doctor, who can then look over the content posted and take action if necessary.
I think it's potentially going to save lives. It could be very, very useful. And social media is how a lot of people express themselves now, including people with mental health problems. So I think it has a great potential to be really helpful for psychiatrists as well as their patients.
What separates this app from the others that deal with suicide prevention is that it works hand in hand with doctors to help monitor their patients.
There are platforms which are doing this, but they are not directly involving doctors. But our app is directly involving doctors, taking their point of view as what they think.
The app continues to learn as it is used. It takes the amount of false alerts and misalerts to try and create the best balance possible to alert doctors at the right time.
The algorithms need to understand what is normal for a specific patient, because what's normal for a 13-year-old teenager might not be the same as normal for what's normal for a 50-year-old male.
The hope is for the app to eventually become widespread so that as a society, we can help prevent suicides in today's world.
So Greg's back with us. Greg, who is the intended audience for this app?
Well, the audience for this app is really people of all ages from all over the world. It learns from users and doctors to help detect these anomalies and make sure that people are getting the help that they need when they need it.
Wow, that's really cool. So what stage is the app in? Like, what does the future hold for this?
So right now, it's been developed over the past year, and it's currently only on Facebook and Android devices. However, the plans for the future do include expansion to Twitter and iOS devices, and hopefully by 2019, that it'll be a worldwide service that everyone can have access to.
Could be really life-changing. Thank you, Greg. And Valentine's Day isn't the only thing heating up in central New York today. The temperatures were extremely warm, especially for mid-February.
That's right, and weather anchor Jess Toricelli is here in studio with us to take a first look at your weather. Jess?
That's right. It was quite warm here today in the 40s, and you can see throughout central New York, most of these states are in 50 degrees and 40-degree temperatures here. And tomorrow should be about the same kind of temperature. Tonight getting down to about 36 with low winds. Earlier today we saw a little bit of fog, but then that broke into sunshine for a lot of the day. So pretty nice weather today overall. I'll let you know what's coming up for tomorrow and the rest of the week, and if we'll see any snow coming up in my full weather forecast.
Coming up, shots fired at the National Security Agency this morning. We'll tell you what the FBI is saying.
And South African President Jacob Zuma resigns. Find out why after the break.
If you see news happening on campus,
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch.
Oh.
My bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back. Senators on Capitol Hill say they've come up with a bipartisan DACA deal, extending the program that allows people who are brought to the United States illegally as children to stay in the U.S.
Calling themselves the Common Sense Coalition, the group of bipartisan senators says the bill will address both the Dreamers and the funding towards border control.
For weeks, politicians in Washington have been in disagreement with how to address the growing immigration problem.
An officer has been injured after a suspect tried to drive a vehicle into National Security Agency offices this morning.
The driver fired shots during the incident, but authorities say no injuries stemmed from the gunfire. 3 men were taken into custody.
The FBI is collecting more information and believe that this is an isolated incident.
President Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, says he paid off an adult film star leading up to the 2016 presidential election.
Cohen says he used his own personal funds to pay the star, who allegedly had a sexual encounter with Trump in 2006. The statement comes after a watchdog group alleged last month that the payment was an unlawful use of campaign funds.
Cohen's statement, however, suggests that the payment was, quote, not a campaign contribution.
The South African president Jacob Zuma has resigned.
The resignation comes after the African National Congress called for Zuma to step down. The African National Congress had planned a vote of no confidence for tomorrow and were calling for Zuma to resign in light of corruption allegations.
Zuma continues to deny the corruption accusations and criticize the ANC for dividing in his name.
Russian mercenaries are among the casualties from an American airstrike in Syria.
Russian forces have not been in Syria since they were in Damascus, but unofficial mercenaries and private military have remained in the area. Many of these mercenaries are contracted to the Damascus regime that were targeted by the strike.
The Syrian military says about 100 Syrians were killed in the attack, while Russian media reports the death toll is at least 200, and many could be Russian nationals.
The PeyongChang Olympics are well underway, and eyes are turning to one unusual team.
The North and South Korean women are competing as one unified ice hockey team. CitrusTV reporter Rebekah Castor has the details from PeyongChang.
As the women's ice hockey tournament is underway at the 2018 Winter Games, eyes are on Korea's United Olympic squad. But feelings about the team are divided. Some believe a unified team is exactly what the two countries need, as the two are technically still at war. Although fighting between the countries ended in 1953, no peace treaty was signed. Others completely disagree with the unified team. Large protests broke out in Seoul last week as many South Koreans are angry with North Korea's large presence at the Games. Instead of the PeyongChang Games, protesters say it's become the Pyongyang Olympics. Pyongyang is the capital and largest city in North Korea. Besides the unified women's hockey team, North Korea's presence was largely felt at opening ceremonies as a representative from North and South Korea carried the Olympic torch to gather up the ski jump before passing it to South Korean figure skater Yoona Kim. And with Kim Jong-un's sister and personal cheering squad also in PeyongChang, North Korea is hard to miss.
Kim Jong-un has since invited the South Korean president to visit him in the capital since his sister's arrival in the country. This will be the first meeting between North and South Korea in a decade. Reporting from PeyongChang, I'm Rebekah Castor, CitrusTV News.
Thank you, Rebekah. Coming up, find out how Home Depot is getting ready for construction season.
And a rose that never dies? It might be available sooner than you think. Stay tuned.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. We have the latest on the Florida school shooting. Multiple sources are reporting there are at least 15 dead.
Officials now say there were police present on campus when the shooting happened. They say there are at least 2 law enforcement officials on a daily basis. It is unknown whether they are armed.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And like I said earlier, temperatures are in the 40s and 50s throughout central New York, looking pretty nice today. But then as we come into early tomorrow morning, we might see a few showers up in the north part here of New York and maybe a little bit of showers early in the morning tomorrow here in Syracuse. But the weather should be pretty nice. And on the national front, you can see there's some snow coming up there. We might see that a little bit later in the week, a little bit later in the weekend, might see about an inch or 2 of snow. But not too much to worry about in the immediate of today. Tonight it'll get down to about 36 degrees if you're going to the game tonight. Not too bad of winds out, so pretty nice to go out for the game. Tomorrow waking up about 43 degrees, and like I said, maybe a few showers, maybe a little bit of flurries in the morning, not too much. Around 6 p.m. tomorrow night, though, we might see some more rain picking up as the day goes along. And then you can see our 5-day forecast here. We have a little bit more rain chance coming up on Monday, 50 to 60% chance of rain, but pretty much most of this week is just cloudy with chances of flurries or rain, not too much significant throughout this week. A little bit of partly cloudy skies coming up Saturday and Sunday, so maybe a little bit of sun will be getting towards the weekend, but that is all for your full 5-day forecast for now.
Thanks, Jess. Business is certainly blooming for local flower shops, but sometimes profits from sales don't go directly to the business itself. Citrus TV reporter Zach Lang has more on this shop's new approach to customers.
February 14th, the day loved ones are given bouquets, arrangements, and especially roses. Flower shops like Westcott Florist get order after order, and manager Dino Centra Jr. says this one day a year brings in the money.
Probably get a 60-70% increase of business, than on an average week.
It actually sometimes comes to a point on the day itself that we have to say, we have to stop taking orders.
However, order gather services like Teleflora act as a middleman. Customer orders in the area are sent to Westcott, who lose some of the profit.
They're picking up a pretty good percentage, a pretty good dollar for basically just taking an order and transferring it on. Whereas if the person went to our website or called us directly, we would get 100% of the order and they would get the full value.
So while these order gatherers siphon a bit off of these local businesses, sometimes all it takes is an advanced social media presence to win over the hearts of their customers.
It's free advertisement. We can put what we want, we can phrase it how we want, we can show what we want.
Courtney Rapp is a Westcott employee who is introducing her boss to the positive impact social media can provide for the shop.
One of my younger employees said, "You haven't posted anything in 2 years." I said, "Well, gee, I'm not really sure how to go about doing it." So she helped me, and now we just posted a bunch of stuff and videos onto Facebook.
I'm looking at those flowers and moving these flowers all day, so it takes 2 seconds to take a picture, put it on the media, and show it to other people. So, yeah.
Zach Lang, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Zach. Westcott Florist is looking into expanding to Twitter and Instagram.
Spring is just around the corner, and Home Depot is already gearing up for the new season. To match the expected demand of customers, Home Depot just announced its plans to hire over 80,000 employees. That's about 3,000 more workers than its rival Lowe's is hiring. Lowe's hopes to have a greater turnout of applicants by hosting its very first National Hiring Day on February 21st.
The great William Shakespeare once said, "A rose by any other name would smell as sweet, but some roses may last longer than others." A couple founded a new business called Vignes et Fleurs that specializes in box roses that can last an entire year. A single rose costs $39, while a box of 42 costs nearly $400.
Would be pretty sweet is exactly a Syracuse victory. Coming up in sports, the SU men's basketball team back in action, looking for another conference win. More hardware for one Syracuse athlete, and Johnny football making a Johnny comeback. Keep it here.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Noah Eagle with sports. On the bubble is a term Syracuse basketball fans were never accustomed to. Year after year, Coach Boeheim and company were virtual locks to make the tournament, but for the third straight year, the tournament is anything but a given for the Orange. A home victory tonight could go a long way, especially against another tournament bubble team as NC State visits the Dome as 5.5-point underdogs. And we take a look at each team's resume. On one side, a pretty nice record overall, 16-9, and the other team one game ahead at 17-8. Now, the biggest discrepancy between the two squads is points per game. Team 2 scores 69 points per contest. Some might say that's a nice mark, but not as nice as 80.9. Take a look. Which one of these would you take? Well, if you took Team 2, that's good news for Syracuse fans. The Orange would be in the tournament, and the dead giveaway could be the defensive efficiency, only allowing 63.4 points per game. Now, a win tonight would push SU's total to 18 on the season and make the Q 7-6 in ACC play. Game tips off at 9 from the Dome, but if you can't make it to the Loud House, no need to worry. We'll have updates throughout the contest on Twitter at CitrusTV Sports. Plus, don't forget to tune in to Orange Press Pass at 1 a.m., where Drew Carter, Jackson Agello, and J.D. Rachi break down all of the action between SU and NC State. Well, on Valentine's Day, one Syracuse athlete got a lot of love from the ACC. Justin Knight has been named the ACC Track and Field Performer of the Week for the third straight time. The senior ran the nation's fastest 5K in a victory at the Iowa State Classic on Saturday, and Knight now owns one of the nation's top 4 times in 3 separate events. The Crunch continue their 5-game road trip tonight in Utica to take on the Comets, and what better matchup to have on Valentine's Day. No love lost between these two rivals, this being the 9th rendition of the Galaxy Cup Series. Utica has won the 3 straight games between the two squads and 5 of 8 overall. After tonight, the Crunch and the Comets meet 3 more times to complete the season Galaxy Cup Series. NBA All-Star Weekend is just about here. Both the Nets and Knicks play tonight before the hiatus, and the word struggling might not be an understatement for Brooklyn, who has lost its last 6 games and 10 of its last 11, and a big reason why was the absence of Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Karis LeVert. The Nets try to get back in the win column at home versus the Pacers. As for the Knicks, wins have been difficult to come by after the season-ending injury to Kristaps Porzingis. 7 straight losses have New York sitting at 23-35 on the season as they play the Wizards tonight at 7:30. And former Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel has set plans for an NFL comeback. Those plans start at the Developmental Spring League. That's right, the league announced today that Manziel has signed on to play, and all this comes just days after the former Browns quarterback told ABC News he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And if you didn't know by now, the Winter Olympics are in full swing in PeyongChang, South Korea. At the moment, Germany leads all countries with 12 total medals, including 7 golds. The United States ranks 4th in gold medals with 4, but 5th in overall medals with 7. Now, among those contributing to the U.S. gold medal count, the snowboarders. Shaun White took home his third Olympic gold medal last night in the men's halfpipe, only a day after 17-year-old Chloe Kim did just that in the women's side. And guys, really fun in PeyongChang. I see you're festive, Josh.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the Olympics. I'm wearing my skiing tie today. I'm not a snowboarder myself, but 5th in the medal count. What can the U.S. do to increase that number?
Just go out and perform it the best they can. The curling event has been fun to watch so far, but the U.S. not in contention for gold in that. So we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see if the U.S. can get back in it.
You talked about what a big game the Syracuse basketball game is tonight against NC State. Give us some predictions for that game. What should we be looking for?
It depends on the pace of the game, honestly, Connor, because if it's a slower game, slower pace, expect Syracuse to come out victorious. If NC State can dictate the pace and play a little bit faster, score some more points, I'd say the Wolfpack come out on top.
Thanks a lot, Noah.
Thanks, Noah. Coming up after the break, we'll have a quick look at your last weather.
Stay tuned.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
So yeah, guys, the weather was pretty nice today, and it'll be pretty nice tomorrow. Not too bad, maybe a little showers in the morning or at night.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jess.
And a 5-day look at your forecast right there. Thursday, a little cloudy, but pretty nice the rest of the week.
All right, thank you, Jess. Looks like the temperatures are getting up there. And if you were walking down Marshall Street earlier this afternoon, you might have been greeted by a special someone.
That's right, Connor. Otto the Orange took a break from his busy schedule to hand out chocolate roses for Valentine's Day. He even stopped to give our cameraman, and as we call him, General Manager Brendan Tierney, a sweet treat. Now, Connor, I'm a big fan of Valentine's Day. Do you have any plans for later?
I don't, but I promise you that I wish I had that rose from Otto the Orange. That just would have not made my day, not my week, my whole month. That would have been an awesome February gift from Otto.
Well, I definitely would have been your Valentine this week if you had asked me. I myself, I'm going to get dinner with some friends.
Oh, yeah?
Go to the game, have
Valentine's
a good time.
Day?
Valentine's
Yesterday
Day.
was Galentine's Day.
Yeah, see, I'd love to be part of Galentine's Day. Honestly, I think that sounds more fun. It's my dad's birthday the day before, so,
wow.
He's going to get a good dinner tonight. But, yeah, it'll be fun.
All right. And Florida police are now providing an update on the Parkland High School shooting. The sheriff says there are now 17 deaths that include students and adults. We will continue to keep you updated throughout the evening as more information is released on Twitter at CitrusTV News. I'm Connor Federico.
And I'm Josh Rosenblatt. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Syracuse. Have a great Valentine's Day.